11 years later, she is still Thanibombing people, guys. Hey everybody, this is Tacho here, and today we're just going to be doing an arena showcase featuring Zelgius and Micaiah, two of the new units from the World of Dawn banner. And I'm very happy that I was able to summon these guys because they're two of my favorites, and Radiant Dawn is my favorite game. And also, the fact that I was able to summon them means I can showcase them for you guys and just show off what makes them both such great units to have. So we're going to start things off with Micaiah. She's definitely going to be stealing the show for quite a bit here. So I did some shenanigans there to reposition her in the path of Brave Lyn over there. And what makes Micaiah such a fantastic unit to run right now is because she's such a good anti-meta unit, being able to deal with Brave Lyn and Reinhardt and also Christmas Staria very easily, even with her default kit, so there's really not too much investment you need to do to make her great. I have given her Wings of Mercy 3 and Attack Ploy 3. Wings of Mercy pretty easy to get, all you need to do is sacrifice a 4-star Kayn. And Attack Ploy 3 is actually pretty good to get right now because if you did the Grand Hero Battle event, you were able to win a couple of copies of Oliver, and he's a really good sacrifice as a 5-star to give Attack Ploy 3 to some of your high-res units. So I gave it to Micaiah because she makes really nice use of it. And having Attack Ploy alongside Double Distant Defense is going to make her a total tank at dealing with ranged opponents, especially ranged horses and ranged armor units. So that's what we're doing with this Micaiah. Another really cool thing about Micaiah that I don't think a lot of people have really caught on to yet is the fact that she's one of the few mages in the game, probably the only mage in the game actually, that can deal with Reinhardt and Lyn without actually running a very dedicated build to do so. Like the build that I have on her right now is pretty versatile. It's going to work against a wide variety of opponents. But most of the units that deal with Reinhardt and Lyn are forced to use a Raven Tome, Triangle Adept, and either Bowbreaker or Quick Repost in order to do so. Micaiah doesn't have to do all of that. So that's what I like about Micaiah. Makes it really easy for her to take both of them on, and we're about to showcase that right now when I bait both of them in one turn with very little difficulty here. Yeah, man, that Thanibombing is just so damaging. You can just one-shot both of them. So even if she doesn't manage to double Brave Lyn or Reinhardt, she's still going to finish them off in one shot. So really nice stuff there. Also, Sigurd is going to eat it from Thani, but because he's on a defense tile and his weapon is pretty good at dealing with magic opponents, I'm not going to be able to one-shot him on this turn. But that's all good. I'm just going to leave it up to Effie for that. And moving on to Zelgius, I know Micaiah's been stealing the show here, doing pretty much exactly what she's on this team to do so far. But when it comes to Zelgius, I'm running Warp Powder in the B slot. This is an excellent skill for an armored unit to have. That's because armored units only move one space a turn, and having Warp Powder on this guy effectively allows him to move 3 spaces per turn. So it's kind of like he's a horse unit with a 174 base stat total. That's ridiculous, guys. That is completely bananas. And now that we have access to the Quick Repost 3 Sacred Seal, you can run that on Zelgius and you can pretty much have Warp Powder without having to sacrifice a really good B-slot passive to do so. Now, that was the main issue with him before that I mentioned in the other video. I said even though Warp Powder is really good for an armored unit, you might not want to run it in place of something like Bold Fighter or even Vengeful Fighter, or even Wrath for that matter. But now that Zelgius can have that, and he can also have Quick Repost as well, there's no reason not to run Warp Powder on Zelgius anymore. And I would say he's probably the best unit in the game to run the Quick Repost seal on as of this moment. So that's pretty much all there is to say about Zelgius. He's a really awesome unit, possibly even the best red unit in the entire game now, beating out both Ira and Sigurd. And that's all thanks to the fact that he's got an armored base stat total. He can move 3 spaces with Warp Powder, and he's got Black Luna, which is the second best special attack in the game, next to Regnal Astra. So also, another really awesome thing about Zelgius is that, look at this guy's defense. I was able to summon him with plus defense IVs, so he's got 45 defense without a single buff, guys. That is ridiculous. imagine how high his defense is going to be if I'm running ward armor and fortify armor and stuff like that to just make him even more of a tank. It's completely insane. You just put this guy on a defense tile and he is going to lay waste to everything that attacks him pretty much. Every melee-based opponent is not going to want to take on Zelgius on a defense tile. I suppose the only instance where it's actually going to make a difference is when he's up against Fa, because Fa is going to attack his res stat, and even though he has color advantage, Fa can still deal quite a bit of damage to him. But it's all good because he's way faster than Fa, and he can have armor emblem buffs to just make that even worse. So yeah, Zelgius is a really great unit. If I can get him to plus 10, he's going to replace Ike for me as my primary red unit, and I'm going to give him the summoner support as well. And as far as the other two units on this team go, we've got Amelia and Effie here. Effie's got Hone Armor to buff Amelia and Zelgius. It's really nice to have the Hone Armor buffs on Amelia and Zelgius because they have such high speed for armored units. And on top of that, Armor March on Amelia is going to allow everyone to move 2 spaces. Not that Zelgius even needs it thanks to Warp Powder, but it's still pretty nice to have on him. Also, another thing I think I forgot to mention is that having Warp Powder and Reposition on Zelgius can lead to some really good movement shenanigans to get your units where you want them to be faster and have them deal a whole lot of damage to the opponents you want them to fight. So it's a very good build on Zelgius to have Reposition and Warp Powder, allowing your units to get ferried across the map and able to bait whatever they need to bait. Now, as far as the new maps go, like this map in particular, this is one of the new maps. It's actually pretty tough to ploy opponents on these maps, because look at the way that we're positioned on this map. No one is really lined up with each other here. So it's really a gamble trying to use ploy skills on these particular maps. But it's not really that much of a problem still, because there are defense tiles for us to take advantage of. We're going to start things off by having Zelgius take on this Fa. Another thing I need to mention is that a couple of people have been leaving comments with suggestions for how I can improve the videos, and I've taken quite a bit of suggestions for this one. So let me know in the comments if everything looks good. So the first thing that I'm doing is we're playing Arena Assault here, and I'm refreshing, I'm going in and exiting until I can get high scoring opponents for us to fight. You'll see that as far as score goes, I'm fighting mainly people that are 716 and up. So that's pretty much how I'm getting to fight all of these really top tier opponents with all the units that I want to be facing to show off my units better. And also someone commented that they wanted me to turn on the attack animations. So I've gone ahead and done so. But the problem with the animations was that it made the video go a little bit too long. This video was actually about 20 minutes when I turned on the animations. So what I did to compromise was I sped up the video a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't make things too hard to follow or it doesn't look bad. So definitely guys, let me know in the comment section if it's a good idea to have the attack animations on while speeding up the video a bit so things don't drag out for too much. So yeah, thanks so much for you guys leaving those suggestions. I feel like it really helped out for this video in particular. And right now we're fighting pretty much an armor team. We're just going to bait them one by one. Really easy to bait the armored units, especially on defense tiles. It's another story when they have the armor breaking skills though, like Armor Smasher and Heavy Lance and stuff like that. Also Hammer. But luckily this guy's not running those things, so I don't have to really rely on having Micaiah to just Thani-bomb the armored units. That's another really good thing about Micaiah. You can deal a lot of damage to armored units with her, while she can also heal with Sacrifice. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have just overlooked how good of a supportive unit it is to have Micaiah on the team. First of all, she's dealing with top tier threats like Reinhardt and Lyn, And on top of that, she's also providing healing support for your team with Sacrifice. And she's also providing a damage unit with Thani to deal a lot of damage to horses and armors. So Micaiah just fills the supportive role for your team so well, and due to her insanely high res stat, she can also pull off ploy skills very well. I think I said this in the live stream, but if I had every unit in the game at plus 10, Micaiah would actually be on my final team, as of right now where we are in the meta, because she just fits so well on any team, being able to provide so much support and so much tech to your team. It's just great to have her. Alright, so this is the final fight of the run. We're up against Horse Emblem with Zelgius. Pretty awesome team. And I just did some reposition shenanigans to get Micaiah on a defense tile. Look at that, man. 0 damage from Reinhardt. Even if he had Moonbow and Quick Impulse, that would not have been a problem. And because he was on a defense tile, we couldn't one-shot him, but that's okay, because Reinhardt doesn't really have that much speed. Okay, so Cecilia's over there. We're going to try to bait her with Zelgius. Thanks to Warp Powder, all I have to do is move Micaiah over, and we can warp Zelgius over there. This was kind of a bad move, actually, looking back, because Cecilia can double my Zelgius, and she's also doing a lot of damage. It would have been smarter for me to wait a turn to bait her on the defense tile, so I wouldn't be in that much risk. But I didn't feel like being that patient, so I went ahead and did it right away. And all that's left now is their Zelgius, and Micaiah is just going to Thanibomb the crap out of this guy. So there you go, guys. That's it for the arena run. I tallied up my score for all the fights that I did, and it came out to a total of 5,010. So pretty good. And that's pretty much it for the video, guys. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope all the edits and stuff that I did to make the video more interesting helped out. And as always, guys, this is Tacho signing out. So cheers. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys again in the next one.